Hey, what's going on, everybody? In this video, I'm going to show you how to change the name of your web address. So let's say you have a website and you want to change the name of the website to another website name. I'll show you how to do that right now. So in this example, this is actually a real life example that I'm going to do with you guys right now. I want to change the website address, which is called Cloud35Blogs.com. And I actually want to change that to cloud35sports.com. Now this is actually my brother's site. So I helped him create a site called Cloud35Blogs a while back, and he wants the same site, but he wants to change the name to Cloud35Sports. So I'm going to show you the process of how to do it, and then I'm going to actually do it to show you how it's done. It's not too hard, so just follow me right here. So first thing to know is that a website has three components. The first thing is the web URL. So in this case, the web URL is cloud35blogs.com. So this is also a web URL. A URL also means the web address. The second thing is your website. Let's call this a website. Let's call it your website. So your website's right here, and this is where you see your pictures, videos. This is where everybody sees here. All right, so everybody sees this. So when somebody goes to cloud35blogs.com, they will automatically see the website. And the third component is known as your database. So your database has all the user info. So people register to your site, your user info will be there. At the same time, you also have your posts, pages, etc. So all the personal info is stored in your database. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the content from the site and the database. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to copy it, also known as clone. So I'm going to copy and clone this, and I'm going to take this exact same information and I'm going to put it here. So let's do website and then database. So I'm going to clone the website info and database info from Cloud35Blogs to this new site called Cloud35Sports. And in a nutshell, my goal is to once again paste it here. So copy and clone, and it'll be paste here. So pretty much the same website info, the pictures and videos will be the same, and the database info will be the same. Only difference is that when you go to cloud35sports.com, you'll see the same info. And then after we do everything, then I'm going to delete this site altogether. Actually, take that away. Actually, we'll take away this part, the part that I copied and cloned. I'll take that away. And then finally, the last thing I would do is whenever somebody else goes to cloud35blogs.com, because a lot of people will still know that site by its name, I would do what's known as a redirect to Cloud35Sports. And a redirect pretty much means that when somebody types in cloud35blogs.com, it would automatically go to cloud35sports.com. And that's the process and I'm going to do. Let's do this right now. So the first thing I want to do, I want to make sure that cloud35sports.com is available. And the way that this URL, I know it's available, is I have to go to what's called a URL name server finder, or I just call it a URL finder. And the one I'm going to use is a company called Namecheap. Now there's different places where you can get your domain name. That's what it's called, your domain name. So there's different places where you can get your domain name. And I like to go to Namecheap. There's GoDaddy. There's a whole bunch of places where you can go, but I like to get mine from Namecheap. So let's go and do that first. All right, so let's go to namecheap.com. And first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that cloud35sports.com is available. So right here, you can search your domain, and let's do cloud35sports.com. Let's see if that's available. And it's available, and it's $8.18 per year. It will renew at $10.98 per year. So I like to have that. So let me add this to the cart. And that's perfect. It's asking a whole bunch of things. I don't want that. So let me just view the cart. All right, perfect. So sometimes I will go online and I will Google Namecheap coupon codes, but obviously it looks like there's another sale already going on. It's called Web Genius Sale, and that's what makes this price $8.18. So I'll leave it as 1 year. The Who is Guard, I don't like to keep that on. And there's a reason for that, but I don't want to get into that right now. I don't want to add anything else. So let me confirm order. Now you can either create an account, or if you already have an account, you can go ahead and sign in. So I already have an account. So I have an account because I have a whole bunch of domain names already available. So you review your order, and then you go ahead and you pay now. All right, so now that I've got that done and it's a wrap, so I can just go straight to my account and go to my dashboard. And these are all of the URLs that I have registered so far. Well, there's some of them. There's still some more left, but as you can see, there's Cloud35 Sports that's there, and there's also Cloud35 Blogs that's there as well. So that's also very, very important, and you can see the expiration date. And for Cloud35 Blogs, the expiration date is actually coming up within the month. So that's there. So now I got the first job done, which is to get my URL for cloud35sports.com. So that was number one. So that was number one thing I had to do. Perfect. So now number two thing I need to do is to copy and clone the website and the database from cloud35blogs.com. I have a WordPress site, so for those of y'all that know how to use WordPress, this would be self-explanatory. If you don't know how to use WordPress, then I advise you to look at another video of how to use WordPress. So this is Cloud35 Blogs. So this is the website that we see right here, and the database has like this info: D Rose drops 50, Odell versus Giants. All this info goes into the database, but the website info is what we see right here. So I'm going to clone everything. So to do this, I need to go to the back end of the site. And once again, if you know WordPress, then you know what to do in this situation. All right, so for all you WordPress users, then the next thing I would do is I would go to a plugin that is called Duplicator. And if you don't see it on the side, then you have to actually get the plugin called Duplicator. So let's go to Install Plugins. I believe I installed this before. There goes Duplicator. It's right there, and it seems like it's already active. So let me see if I can find it in my settings. There it is. All right, so go to Packages. All right, so what I would do is create a new package, and let me change the name to Cloud35 Blogs, and let me add final. As far as storage, that's fine. Archive, that's fine. Sometimes it is good to add this WP uploads, so you won't actually have to copy the media file, but I'm not going to do that now, and that actually only works when you enable file filters. So if you enable file filters and then you click WP uploads, that sometimes works, but I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm just going to just go to next. So what this does is it actually copies the files, that's like the picture files and stuff like that. It will also copy the database information. So as you can see, it's 1.12 gigabytes. And the reason I'm assuming is because there's a whole bunch of media files that's there. That's what I thought. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use this because, actually let me try it. So if I click yes and do build, let's see if this actually completes, because sometimes it doesn't complete. And if it doesn't complete, then what you need to do is to go back to the file filters, and you have a chance to do that. Go back there and then click file filters, click WP uploads, and then that fixes the problem. All right, so on my end, it looks like it was successful, which is actually a surprise because usually a file that big actually doesn't go through, but it was successful. So it has two files. This one's called installer and one is called archive. So you need both of them. So what you want to do is you click installer and you will save it anywhere you want to. In this case, I'll save mine in the desktop. So I'm making a new folder. I call it Cloud35 transfer. So call it installer right here. You save that and then save this archive file. This archive file has both the information that's in the database and also the information that is in the website as well. And on the bottom left, you see that's how long it's going to take. So in a nutshell, what I've just done right now with Duplicator is I have copied or cloned the website information and also the database information. So the website info has been copied, database info has been copied, and this right here is known as the archive file. That was archive file that's being downloaded right now. So that's what that is. And so now the goal afterwards is to now access cloud35sports.com, and I'll show you how to do that, and then paste the files into Cloud35 Sports. And that is what I will do in a little bit. But there's still some steps that's involved. It's not a lot of steps, but I'll show you how to do it. All right, so now the file has been downloaded. So if I go back to my Finder, and if I was looking to my desktop and check out the Cloud35 transfer, I have two files. One is called this archive file I was talking about. It's a zip file, and there's an installer PHP. This installer PHP actually allows this whole thing to be downloaded and to be pasted onto the new site. So now the next thing I need to do is I need to go to the web server of where Cloud35 blogs is located. And so the web server that I use is called Siteground. Or actually, not a web server, sorry, it's called a hosted server. My names are off today. So I go to Siteground, and the plan that I actually have, just to let you know, the plan that I use is I use WordPress hosting, and I have multiple sites that is managed. So I actually use the Go Geek plan. So it's $11.95 a month, and that is for a year, I believe. You can get that, and you can register a new domain name or use the one you already own. So in this case, it would have been cloud35sports.com, but I'm not gonna do that right now. I'll show you a different way. But as you proceed, there are two different plans that are there. So, I'll show you a quick example. So let's do, all right, so if I use cloud35sports.com, and then actually for your email and then your plans, and this right here, if you have a hosted price of $11.95 a month for 12 months, or for 24 months, it's the same thing, or for 36 months, it's the same thing. You see the bill, that's what the bill is for 36 months. Which is 3 years. That's the bill for 12 months. So the only thing to let you know is that, if you use, let's say for example, the 12 months, and you bill $143.40, that's cool. But then after that first 12 months, when you repay, you're actually going to pay at the rate of $34.95 a month, and $34.95 a month times 12 is around, I believe, is about $400 somewhere along that way. $34.95 times 12, and that's it, $419.40. So that is what you're going to pay the second year. So keep that in mind. I recommend you probably getting it for 12 months Or you can do a trial of 1 month if you want, if you're not sure. But I like Siteground. There's also HostGator, and there's other people that's around and stuff like that. So once you have a site in Siteground, you have a chance to now go into what's called their cPanel. And their cPanel is actually where we're going to paste the website and database info that we copied. That's in this archive file. Then we're going to paste it. The way that it gets pasted, that it gets pasted in Siteground. So like I said, when you register for Siteground, they will give you a link to go into what's known as a cPanel. And everybody has this. You'll see it in your email. Now that I'm in, everybody's cPanel will look something like this for Siteground. So once this is done, there's a couple of steps that you need to do. The first thing that you want to do is that you want to click on add-on domains. So this only works if you have other sites. So if you use a cPanel for another site like cloud35blogs.com and you want to use it for Cloud35 Sports, then you do the add-on. If you just started a new account with Siteground and the new account is, for example, Cloud35 Sports or whatever website it is for the first time, then this add-on domain situation, you don't need to do this. But if you already have a URL that's already used, then you will need to do an add-on domain. In this case, I already have some URLs that's already used. I have all these URLs that I've used already. That's right here. So I'm going to add on a new domain, and a new domain I'm going to add on is a new one. It's called cloud35sports.com. And don't worry about the www. And then afterwards, you need to put in the password. All right, then it tells you that the domain has been created, and it also starts an FTP account, and that is using something like FileZilla, which you can get for free. That's how it looks like, and that's how you can transfer files as well as Siteground. But to do that, that's out of the scope of this video. So if I go to my add-on domains, I will see cloud35sports.com. So that's the first thing I want to do. The second thing now I want to do is to create a database. So that's the other step to do. So the first thing I did, so I won't confuse you, is I added the URL Cloud35 Sports on Namecheap. So then that was done. Second thing I did is I archived it using a copy and clone or the duplicator. And I did that in WordPress. So then the third thing to do is to go back to Siteground, which is my hosted server, and you can use GoDaddy or Bluehost or whatever that you can use. I personally like Siteground. The third thing that you need to do is to do add-on domain. And that's optional. And then the fourth step that you want to do is you want to actually add a database. This is actually a very important step. After I add a database, then I will paste it. But I have to actually add the database itself. And so the way to add a database is you go back to your cPanel, which is where I'm at. So let's go to cPanel Home. And then once you are in cPanel Home, then the next thing to do is to go to where it says Databases and go to MySQL Databases. All right. So now I want to add a new database. So create a new database. Call this. All right. Call this C35 Sports. Perfect. So once you add the database right here, and the size, there's nothing there at all. So then the next thing I want to do is also very important, is to add users for this. If you start this website for the first time, then you have to do this step. If you already have a hosted server, and I'm assuming that you already have one, go back and add a database. And after you add a database, then you would get your user and then add it to the new database. In this case, it's this. So the user that's already created, and then the database, and then you add it. And then after you add it, you want to select all privileges right here. Make changes. All right, so that's all I need to do. Then go back. So now it goes back to this cPanel name. Size is still 0 megabytes, but now there's user. So now that step is completed. I've added a new user to the database. So that's perfect. So the fifth step now I want to do is I want to paste info. So the info I'm going to paste is I'm going to paste the website info. I'm going to paste the database info. So the way you do that is, first thing that you want to do is go back to home. And then after you do that, you go to File Manager. It'll ask you where you want to go. Go to the root that is for cloud35sports.com. Now I have a whole bunch of URLs. You know, go to cloud35sports.com. Now this is where the files are going to be. This is where the picture files go, the audio files, and stuff like that. This is where all this goes. So when you go there, you just probably see one folder that's called CGI-bin. So what you want to do is that you want to upload, and you want to upload the 2 files that you cloned or that you created after you did your cloning and Cloud35 transfer. So these 2 files right here, the installer PHP. Let's do that first. And if you see on the bottom right, you can see it's complete. So if I was to get out of there, and if I was to click refresh or reload right here, you see the installer that's there, and then go back to upload and do the same thing on this big file. And on the bottom left, you should see the uploading percentage. I'm using Google Chrome. Your web browser might be different. I'm uploading it now, and it will take a little bit. So I'll get back to you after this finishes. All right, it's complete. That took around maybe 10 minutes. So if I was to reload this, so now you have this file that's here, and that's the archive file. Perfect. So there is a step I actually did forget to do. I'm going to do it right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my Namecheap, and afterwards go to my domain name that I started, which is cloud35sports.com. Click on manage. And what I need to do is, let me just show you a visual representation. What I need to do is I actually need to connect cloud35sports.com, and I need to connect it to this thing right here. So that's my goal. So this is my cPanel. Remember the cPanel is where I can access the website info and also the database info. So I need to connect cloud35sports.com to my cPanel. And the way that you do that is you need to connect it using a name server. I actually forgot that step. I should have done that in the beginning, but I'm going to do it now. So the way you connect the name server is, I'm in Namecheap, cloud35sports.com. That's your domain name that I bought earlier. Then I go to name servers right here and click on custom DNS. DNS means domain name server, and it's asking for 2 name servers. And to get that name server, you go back to your cPanel from Siteground, and then make sure that you're at the cPanel home. And then on the left side, you will see 2 name servers right there. So what you would do is that you would copy that name server, and paste it. So it's 2 lines, or sometimes it's 1 line, sometimes it's 3 lines. And so once that is done, it says give it up to 48 hours to take effect. Now I have to pretty much wait for another, it won't take 48 hours. Usually takes maybe like 30 minutes for it to like really get done. For it to be in all browsers and all phones, it might take 24 to 48 hours. So what I would do is I will come back in about an hour and see if this is done. Maybe not even an hour, but probably 30 minutes, and see if this is done. And the reason why I'm doing this is simply because the next thing I'm going to do, what I'm going to do now is open up a new web page and go to www.cloud35sports.com/installer.php. So this is going to show an error, which is perfect. Actually, it's not perfect, but that's the intended behavior. But after this information goes from name server, which connects to the hosted server, that takes about, like I said, maybe 30 minutes to an hour. So once that connects, I'll come back here and try to refresh it. And once it refreshes, then this will be different. All right, so now if you look at cloud35sports.com, as you can see, it is now showing this duplicator, which is what we use to first clone/copy the old website on cloud35blogs.com. So it's a few things to look at. Archive is fine. Validation, that's fine. Options, that's fine. Say next. Then it's going to ask you what to do with the database info. All right. So now this is an important part. So what you want to do here is to take this database info from here and then copy the exact information into this database right here. So to do that, the host is localhost, that's fine. The database is your database name. So the database name, to find that out, you want to go back to the cPanel and then go to MySQL databases. And then from there, you look at the database name that's there, copy it, paste it, go to the database name. That's it right there. And the first thing I want to do as well is I want to create a new database. Sorry about that. So I want to create a new database. That's the first thing. Then database name is there. Then my username is this right here. And then my password. So the password should have automatically been set up when the original website was made. So now you go to test database. It says success. Perfect. So now go to next. Yes. And now it's taking all the info and it's copying it. Go to next. Oh, and then the title, let me call this Cloud 35 Sports. So I'll change the title. So go to next. And now it's going to put all the info there. All right, click admin, boom, boom. All right. And so now I'll go in and do my info that I needed. All right. Remove installation files now. All right, that's done. I'm also going to delete this file right here that's highlighted. But before I do that, let me reload it. So now this has been changed, it has a whole bunch of files that's there. But if I go down, well, I think that file has been deleted. So I don't need it anymore. So I think it automatically deleted it for me. So that is it. And then let me actually update this WordPress version. All right, it's been updated. So now if I go to cloud35sports.com, so cloud35sports.com is right there. And as you can see, the heading says Cloud 35 blogs. That's no worries. Just redo the logo that you need to do. But now cloud35sports.com works. And also if I go to cloud35blogs.com, that works as well. So one extra thing I want to do is I want to go back to the cPanel home, and I want to make cloud35sports.com, I want to make that a secure site. So to do that, I need to go to security and let's encrypt. So all Siteground sites have this automatically. So what I want to do now is go to cloud35sports.com right here and install Let's Encrypt SSL. So what this does is that it makes your website say HTTPS instead of HTTP. So that takes a little bit to get in. So that's there. And then the last thing I want to do is to go back to my cPanel home, and I also have a service that's called Cloudflare. Now these two steps are optional. So Cloudflare also goes with SiteGround. This prevents attacks from happening. That's kind of the best way I can explain it. So let me activate this for free. All right, so now if I was to manage Cloud 35 blogs, what it used to look like, well, actually the old site, let me go to statistics, let me make sure, or settings, let me make sure some of the settings are there. Is simple, medium. All right, so let me see if these settings match with cloud35sports.com. So go back to Cloudflare Get Started page. Go to cloud35sports.com, go to settings, just do simple and then medium. Perfect. All right, and that's pretty much it. So now these changes would actually take about an hour to get in. So now I'm done with that. So what does this mean? This means now that if I was to go to my diagram, so what I've just done right now is take all this info from here and now put it here. So now pictures, videos, and then user info. So all the info that was there before is now there now. So now the sixth thing I want to do now is to delete this info right here. So all the website and database info that needs to be done now. All right, so to do that, what I would do is, well, there's actually several ways to do this, but I'll just do one of the ways. So what I would do is I will go to add-on domains, and where it says Cloud35 blogs, I want to remove that. So remove this. All right, so Cloud35 blogs is gone. And then go to cPanel Home. And then I will go to File Manager. And let's go to the whole root situation. And there's cloud35blogs.com right there. I will take this and just delete everything because I already have everything saved. It's duplicated in those two files that I showed you. Remember these two files right here? So that has the whole Cloud35 old blogs right there. So that's fine that I delete this. So I just deleted Cloud35 blogs. I highlighted it and click delete. That's it. So that's gone. And then also delete the database as well. I'm sure there's a quicker way to do all this, but this is the way that I know how. Then go to my SQL databases and then go to the database for Cloud35, which was this one. Delete it. All right, perfect. So now I go to my cPanel Home. So now if I was to refresh this page, there's nothing there anymore. So go to cloud35blogs.com. It's nothing there anymore. So that's gone. Another thing I want to do as well is let me go to Cloudflare because I was using that, and Cloud35 blogs is actually gone, so it's not there anymore. All right, perfect. So the last thing I want to do now is go back to the diagram. So I deleted the info. The info is gone. So the website and database info is gone. The last thing to do is to do a redirect. So anytime somebody goes to cloud35blogs.com, it'll automatically go to cloud35sports.com. So that's my last thing I want to do. So redirect. All right, so how to do that is go to Namecheap, which is the name server where I got my domain name. It's asking me to re-log in again because it's been a while since I have logged in. If I go to my domains list, I see cloud35blogs.com. So after April 10th, 2019, which is less than 30 days, because right now it's March 15th, 2019. So like I said, less than 30 days, this will go away, the Cloud35 blogs, and what I'm doing right now is not needed. But for now, what I would do is I would go to manage. And after I go to manage, I'll take this name server and then bring this back to the Namecheap basic DNS. That's fine. And then finally, what I would do is I will redirect my domain. All right, add redirect. So the source URL is cloud35sports.com. Sorry, cloud35blogs.com. And then the destination URL will be www.cloud35sports.com. And I'm assuming it has to add the HTTP. Yep. So let me add the HTTPS there. All right, so that's where we'll go to https://www.cloud35sports.com. So that's what happens there. So that's where the redirect happens. So now anytime somebody types in cloud35blogs.com, you will immediately go to cloud35sports.com. And that is the final thing that I needed to do. And that is it. So I'll do a quick recap in a quick second. But for now, let me actually go back, and it'll take a while for the Cloud35 blogs to go to the new site. Yeah, it will take a little bit for it to happen. So that redirect, it will happen, but it will take a little bit. Maybe probably an hour, maybe 24 hours, who knows. All right, so let me go back to cloud35sports.com. So that's that right there. And then now let me go, because I'm using WordPress. So let me go to my dashboard, and let me go to my settings. And what I'm doing right now is making sure everything just works according to plan. So settings, general. And then I want to add the HTTPS at the end. So cloud35sports.com. That's fine. The email address is cloud35blogs.com. I'm assuming that might be changed. So if my brother wants to change that, here, let's go to the settings and change that email address to cloud35sports.com. And I'll let him do that. All right. So now all I have to do is sign in again. All right. So now HTTPS cloud35sports.com works. So that's perfect. Okay, perfect. So I've done everything you need to do. So final thing that I want to do now is I want to make sure that all the links actually go to Cloud35 Sports. That's also an important thing. Also, even before that, one thing I also want to do is I'm going to go to permalinks, and let me just save this, save changes. That's just another prerequisite thing to do. And then let me actually do this plugin. There's a couple things I need to do here, which is actually out of the scope of this video, but I just want to do it anyway. So go to setup wizard. So do another setup, but this time with the right domain name. That's there. So let's go to the posts that were there before, and let me make sure that the links go to the right place. All right, so showing, oh yeah, showing this new WordPress editor, which I really hate. So let me actually go in, and there is a way to go back to the old version. Let me go to add new plugins. There's a way to go back to the old version editor, classic editor. 3 million active installations. That means nobody likes it, man. Sorry, I'm just like, nobody likes this editor. Okay, so once that's done, it's perfect. One thing you can also do is go back to install plugins, and you can update all these plugins that's there. So YouTube, update that. The ones that's activated, update all this. Now, don't update everything, because not everything will work. I'll tell you that right now. The ones that's highlighted in blue are the ones that are currently activated. Oh, shoot. I accidentally clicked activate. I meant to click update. Been a long day. All right, so update. And what will happen is that you start seeing all these update one by one. It's like that. So you start seeing the update one by one. Now, mind you, just know that I'm updating all of the activated plugins. Another way to see it is if you just click all the active ones right here. If you click all the active plugins, you'll be able to see it as well. All right, so it's been updated. One failed. Visual Composer, that's fine. You can update that. So refresh the page. All right, so that's pretty much it. And then if you have the what do they call that plugin? SEO plugin. You want to make sure that your URL and stuff is right. And let's go to, I'm assuming, search appearance. Yeah, so there we go. So Cloud 35 Sports. So you're gonna do some of these updates. Company logo. It's Cloud 35 Sports. All right, so I actually have to change that logo. All right, now I can finally go back to all posts and go right to edit. Hold on. All right, you know what? Sorry about that. It's showing a bunch of errors. It's getting annoying. So let me actually deactivate this plugin, the fastest cache. Let me deactivate that. It's not even enabled. So let me actually deactivate this plugin. So I don't like seeing clutter at all. All right, so now that's deactivated. Let's go to posts. Or before I do that, let's go to SD fastest cache or cache. I don't know how they call that. Sorry, SG optimizer. All right, so there's a whole bunch of settings I can do. Let's do this one right here. So I believe that will work just fine. All right, so now let's go to finally visit site. So the main image is not there because it came from a URL that no longer exists. This image came from the old Cloud 35 blogs, but that's not a problem. I could just go in and re-upload it. It's not a problem. As a matter of fact, let me actually do that right now. But as this Photoshop program opens, let me go in and look at some of these things. And so now what Alex is going to have to do, my brother, is that he's going to have to come in and re-change all these website URLs. So Cloud 35 Sports, and you can even highlight that and right click, copy, and then click this thing, right click, paste, boom, and then update. So he's gonna have to do that on all of the videos or all the posts that he has done. So gotta let him know that. So let me actually do that right now. So let's go to something I have not opened in a long time. All right, so that's there. Let me have this opened. Then let me come back in and change the word from blogs to sports. And it's too big, so let me now go in and highlight all this, shrink it a little. All right, got it there, and save as. And let me call this Cloud 35 Sports logo. And then let me save another version of this. Oh shoot, nope. Let me file, save as, and let me do PNG version. All right, so that's done. So let me minimize this. And let's go back to the site. All right, I'm back. So I found out what the problem was. The problem was when I set up my Cloudflare. So to get here, I'll just go to my cPanel home and then go to Cloudflare right here. And I realized two errors. One, so if I go to cloud35sports.com, go to my settings, and this was actually still that aggressive. I thought I changed it, but when you change it, you need to put the change, or actually click this change button, and that actually saved the changes. But that wasn't the big error that I did. The big error is SSL support. That's the HTTPS. It was at flexible, and it needed to be at full. And then once you go full, you click change. All right, so then after I did that, the site now works. If I refresh the page, it works now. So a few things I need to do. First thing is I need to go to my dashboard and I want to re-upload this logo. So to do that, actually, I need to go to customize. So this actually has some extra settings for this theme. And this will also apply to, I'm assuming your page as well. There is a place I need to change. So logo. So select image and upload file. And the file I just created it. So I'm assuming that's will fix the problem. All right, perfect. So Cloud35 Sports is there. And now come back and do this fave icon as well. Can change that up. And then there was more, the footer logo. So select the image, use the same logo here. All right, so now it's published, and that for logo is right there in the bottom. All right, and I also want to change the copyright info. Where's the footer widgets? Sports. Just went there. For the general, there we go. 2019. All right, so now that footer bottom info has changed right there. Publish. Actually, let me get out of here. All right, so now let's go back to the dashboard. All right, Cloud35 blogs in your own words. I want to change that. That's the home page. So home page. All right, so Cloud35 Sports. Yeah, in your own words, just keep that there. And I believe that is, change it up, Cloud35 Sports. All right. So save that up. Actually, let me go to SEO. That search appearance situation I was talking about, where it was general. I need to change that. And upload image. Let's put that there. Save changes. So now the last thing I want to do is go to customize. And I want to make sure that the info going to his iTunes is right, I believe. So I think there's a podcast tab right there. Yep, RSS settings, that's what goes out. So that should be called Cloud35 Sports. And Alex put his own definition there. Cloud35 Sports. Cloud35 Sports. Sports. All right, perfect. Let's do this. Main image. Let's use this. So I'm assuming that is everything that he needs, and that's it. So now all I gotta do is text my brother, let him know that all the information has been converted over, and now cloud35sports.com is there. In a nutshell, I know that was a long video, but what I just showed you right now is pretty much the first thing was I got a new URL. Second thing was I copied and cloned the site, the old site from cloud35blogs.com. The third thing I did was that I did an add-on domain on the Siteground server. And then the fourth thing I did was I added a database. So I had to create a database. Then after I created the database, then I pasted the info that I cloned. So pretty much what was on Cloud35 blogs was now cloud35sports.com. Then afterwards, I redirected the name server from the Namecheaps to the DNS info that was on my Siteground cPanel. So that was 6. And then the last thing I did was I deleted the info. Well, that was the last thing I did, but I deleted the info from the old Cloud35 blogs. Then I redirected the URL. That was 8. And then the last thing, number 9, was I rechecked site to make sure that everything was right. So your site is different, my site is different, and that's pretty much it. So I'm done. If you have any questions, type it in the comments. It's not the perfect video, but you know, this is pretty much how you take one site and then put it to another site. All right, you guys take care.